All right, yes, you're seeing this correct. The kayak is in the house. I live in the low country, just outside of Charleston in South Carolina, and it's midsummer and it is hot. Seriously, like dangerously hot. My garage is cooking. It's an oven. I was out there this morning trying to work on this thing. I got started real early thinking, okay, I'll get out there before the sun comes up, and it's just not possible this time of year, and I've got to get this thing built, got to get this thing on the water. And so we are in the living room. It looks a little weird for the video, but we are going to continue Project Kayak now. Here's what's on the agenda for today. We've got us from the good folks at Humminbird some new electronics for this boat. So this is the Humminbird Helix 10. This thing's got mega down imaging, mega side imaging. It'll work with mega live forward facing. That's to come. We're waiting on a few parts for that yet. But in this video, I'm going to be installing this Helix 10. It is a pretty big unit. It weighs a good amount, but also with a little help from the folks at YakAttack, we've got this killer mount. For as heavy as this thing is, there's this little swivel mount that they make. Perfect, it bolted right up, no drilling was required for this unit. So the first thing we need to do is decide where this thing's gonna go on this kayak. And remember, this is an ePDL. I don't have the pedal unit in here, but there is a fairly decent sized drive, so you need some clearance. I know most of the videos I've seen and most of the kayaks I've seen set up, a lot of guys will put the sonar on the left side. And I'm assuming that's because most guys will cast most of the time with their right arm and you don't want this thing in the way. But for my little peanut brain, I guess, I want the sonar like right in front of me, you know, kind of so I can look at this and go, right there is where I want to, you know, that's where I'm casting. I don't want to be looking over there and then doing that. So I'm going to put this thing kind of right in my line of sight where I'm mostly going to be casting. So I'm going to put it on the right-hand side. This mount fits right into the track system on this boat. It couldn't be easier. This whole bottom piece pops off, and that is what slides into your track here. You can see it's got the foot for that built in. Slide that in, line up the little pegs, and then just tighten this down. And once that's down, just pop that back on, close that little clasp, and that thing is going nowhere. So the next obvious step is, what are we going to power this thing with, and where's that battery going to go? First, the folks at X2 hooked us up with this 12-volt battery that's going to be perfect for running this unit. It's a 50 amp hour battery. So even though there's plenty of room in this compartment, it's going to be a little bit different for every installation depending on which battery you buy and exactly which kayak you have. So I'm going to show you real quick what I did. I just put a Velcro strap in here. It's not rock solid, but it's definitely not going to go anywhere. I'm very comfortable and confident with this. So I'm not going to go through all the steps, but I'm going to show you real quick what I did. So I just took this Velcro strap, it's actually an old rod strap, and drilled a couple holes, put a couple washers to attach it to the inside here, and it's sitting right on this little platform where the battery is going to go. I'll show you how simple that goes in. So that goes there, and then I can just bring the strap around and strap it in. Beautiful. We're going to go from right there, the battery in the front compartment, to literally just right there to the back of the unit. So what that means is I've got two spots I'm going to cut a hole, because I'm going to have the transducer is mounted just under this little space in front of the pedal unit. There's a little scupper hole down there, and the transducer is right under there. So that transducer cable is going to come up through that hole, and then just below the power for the pedal unit, I'm going to put another hole here, and we'll run the transducer cable through there to meet up with the power cable, which is in here, right? That's just the other side of this. You can see that's going to be right on the other side. So I'll have the power cable and the transducer cable right there, and then we'll run them right through that side of the boat and have it come out right about here, just on the inside of the wall, possibly inside of this little pocket. Hey, quick note from editor Kurt. I think that was the right move. I should have done that, and if I was doing it again, I'd probably put that porthole through the side of that little pocket there. It's going to be a lot cleaner. Enjoy the rest of the video. All right, I know everybody gets a little nervous about this part, but I've got some grommets from a company called Wilderness Systems. There's some big, they'll allow several cables to come through that hole and then seal it up nice. They require a 1 3/8 inch spade bit. You're gonna cut a pretty decent sized hole in the boat, but that'll finish it off. It's all gonna look beautiful. All right, so here you can see there's that scupper hole I've been talking about that comes right out in front of the pedal drive unit. And then right back there, you can see a little plate that's pre-drilled. It's all ready for accepting the transducers for a variety of different units. So we'll unscrew that from the bottom of the boat, bring it up here, attach the transducer, and then we'll remount that right on the bottom of the boat. Okay, these are the pieces of that grommet that I was talking about that I'm going to run the cable through. Let's start. We need to feed the cable through this. Oh, nope, take it back. That happens on the back side of it. But we still need to feed the cable through that. Let's go ahead and put this cable in here for now. This is the cable coming from underneath the boat from the transducer. And then also need to slide on this little washer. So I got to backtrack a little bit. And that goes ahead of the hard collar and actually comes out here. All right, no problem. Cable goes in this. This fits over like that. And then the washer goes on. This goes into the hole we made. And then from the back side, tighten up that lock. Beauty. Look at how slick that is. And now it's time to drill our hole where the cables are going to come out close to the depth finder. Yep, that's the spot. All right, and this time I'm going to use this little rubber piece in the middle that's got 2 holes in it instead of just one, because I'm going to have the power cord and the transducer cord coming out here to go into the sonar. So this is the power cord that goes to your battery, and because there are so many variables in how you're going to attach this unit and what kind of boat you have and all that sort of stuff, it just ends in a red and a black wire. And you need to go get an inline fuse for the positive lead. In this case, the Helix 10 needs a 5 amp fuse. So I went and I bought this just at an auto parts store. It's about 10 bucks, and some 5 amp fuses to go in it. I put rings on there to attach to the battery. You can see this end is finished. This is what's going to go in the depth finder. All right, so I've got the power lead and I've got the transducer lead. So step one is to put them through the locking collar that goes on the inside of the back here. And then we feed those through. And let's say we give it about a little bit of extra, a little wiggle room. Then we're going to need to put on that washer, the rubber washer that's going to seal this thing against the side of the boat. Next, got a larger side and a smaller side. Fit that around the transducer. That one around the power cord. And then we slide it into this. And we slide that rubber washer on. And we put it like that. Double check our lengths. And from the back side, I need to feed that locking piece up to it. There it is. So now, let's do a little cord management. Here's our power cord. Let me get that one out of the way. This is our transducer. Let's go ahead and bundle this guy up. They provided a couple of zip ties for us. And our one with the, our lead with the fuse on it is our positive lead. Hook up our ground first. Hook up our other one, positive. And the last part is we've got this cable tray. And in this case, all we're going to have is the power cable and the transducer. So, oh, that's no good. Open this up. Go get that screw off the floor. And we'll take the power cable. So you lay the two cables in there with, you can see now these two holes have something in them. And we'll put the pieces back together. We'll put the top plate back on. Hold everything in place and put those two screws back in. This part is going to plug into the back of the unit. So plugged in, attached to the battery, cables run, everything's looking pretty neat. To be honest with you, I have not charged this battery, so I don't know if this is a bad idea, but let's see if she fires up. If she doesn't, I can always cut this part out. Oh, first try, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. The Kayak now has a Humminbird Helix 10 on it, which is pretty awesome. I would say installation was kind of no big deal. Just take your time. Pro tip for you, if you've got a wife who's as understanding as mine and you live someplace where it's pushing 100 degrees and 100% humidity just about all summer, I would tell you bring the Kayak in the living room to work on it. It is way nicer. We've got AC and we've got the ceiling fan blowing and good lighting. It's definitely the way to do this.